Seriously? Hey guys, and welcome to this very special video with myself, 6+ Stevo, and special guest, Mr. Ian Waz Wyatt himself. How you doing, buddy?
Yay! You all right?
It's good to finally get you on the channel, mate. It's I've featured some of your products and spoken about your channel and your work previously on the channel. I know you've got quite a big following on YouTube. And I've been a big fan for many years, long before I started doing a channel. I watched your videos a lot on your various creations and work and stuff, and just blown away. Such inspiring stuff, man. And yeah, so it's thank you first of all for coming on the channel, mate. I massively appreciate it. And yeah, so the reason I wanted to get you on the channel basically, because I know you've got some interesting stuff going on at the moment, business-wise and model-wise. And yeah, I just wanted to bring this to light to some of my subscribers who might not be aware that you exist at the moment. They might not be aware of your channel or your products and what you do. And so yeah, just wanted to give you a chance to kind of talk about some of your projects on the go and various things. And I think before we get into that though, I want to ask you, first question I'm really interested to ask you is, when did you discover the hobby itself, be it wargaming, model making? I'm just interested, yeah, as where you got into the hobby and when.
Well, I don't want to give away my age, but I am knocking on a bit. So when I was about 13, 14, I used to get into trouble a lot. I was a bit rowdy, and one of the suggestions was go to the cadets or find a hobby, right, to release stuff. And I discovered, I'm from Leeds, and I discovered a wargaming club in a place called Seacroft in Leeds. A bit rough, but not too rough.
I've been to Leeds. I can confirm it is rough.
Oh yeah. The snipers on top at flats and stuff in Seacroft. And there was once rumours there were ninjas abseiling down these flats. I've never witnessed it, but apparently it was true. But anyway, so in this wargaming club, I was interested in models like World War II tanks and stuff. I made them as a kid, like we all did, airfix and all that. So when I went to this wargaming club, I met who was my best friend and my best man, Andrew. He died. Unfortunately, he died a while ago. But he introduced me to a game called Spacefarers. Now, you being a young pup, you won't know what Spacefarers is.
It's a new one on me, buddy. It's a new one on me.
But you know what Car Wars is, though, don't you?
I do.
Well, it's the same era, you see. Now, Spacefarers was one of the very first sci-fi wargaming games. You Google it after you finish.
I will.
So there was me, Andrew, and Simeon, and we were the youngsters in this wargaming club. And so when this was back in 86-ish. So back then, Citadel was only just coming in. It wasn't Games Workshop then; it was Citadel. So the Citadel was coming in, and if I remember right, and I might have my dates wrong, right? So I played at this club for a couple of years. Then Games Workshop became bigger. Wargaming became bigger, and in this wargaming club, I always remember because they used to play one Thursday. And then they used to play every Thursday. Sorry, they used to play, and then they used to play one Sunday a month. Okay, and it used to start at 10 o'clock in the morning, first dice rolled, and then finish at 6 o'clock at night. But on the Sunday game, it used to be a massive game. And I always remember walking in one day, and they were setting up this castle, and then they set up these armies, and it were two armies. It was an orc army, and it was a elves and human army, right? And I've never seen so many figures on this table in all my life. And from that moment then, I was hooked.
You got the bug.
With what these models were. And
this was, I'll take it, this was the armies that were laid out there. This was the original Warhammer Fantasy. Was it around the time?
Yeah.
Superb,
superb. You know what? I still dream about playing that game. Because I was on the orc side, right?
Yeah.
And for the first time, I don't know, like, well, orcs, green, here, we all know what the orcs look like. And I was in charge of these, like, grots that had these balls on chains, and they swung around.
Fanatics, like good stuff.
And I also had a group of 20 boys as well. So that's what I had. So and I was only young, and there was 8 players per side, and that's how big these armies were. And it was massive, and it was a castle and all. And do you know what I mean? It was like, everything was painted as well. The castle was painted, the figures were painted.
Superb.
It was mind blowing. So this is how I got in. This is how I got into it. It was like, it was a wow factor for me, and I've always tried to pursue that wow factor. And you know what? I think sometimes I have achieved it with some of the gigantic models I've made.
I would say you definitely have, mate. You definitely achieved that above and beyond.
If I'm wowing myself, then I think I'm there. I know I'm not one of the best models in the world. I copy some of the best modelers in the world. Some of the guys I follow, which we'll probably talk about later, but some of the guys I follow, whoa, do you know what I mean? They still blow me away now.
Yeah. There's some incredible talent out there, man. And that's it's interesting to hear your story there from the gaming club so you're right there at the sort of beginning of 40k really. So when 40k was what, 88, 87, around that sort of time, wasn't it? When Rogue Trader first
trying to work out how old I am.
Yeah. It's good to finally talk to someone a bit older than myself, because I'm hitting 40 this year, so yeah, I've been in the hobby a fair bit myself. But yeah, it's nice to occasionally talk to people who say things like, this will be before your time, which happens less and less these days. But yeah, it's interesting you talk about, so you got into this hobby, obviously, like most of us, you kind of dabbled in your younger days with like Airfix kits and stuff, as we all did. I think my first kit was probably, like most people's first kit, was a Spitfire. I think I had a Spitfire, probably a Hurricane. I remember building a Tiger tank. My dad got me a Tiger tank.
Tied toilet paper to it, set fire to it, and threw it out my window.
Everyone's done that. Everybody's done that. And tying a Spitfire to a bit of string and dangling it off your bedroom ceiling as well. That's another popular one to have them, like a little, like a mobile, above your bed.
I've got sort of things still dangling on bits of string.
Excellent stuff. Got some nice Orc bombers going on there. Superb.
I know. I need to paint them.
So, Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk about that, though, because what I find interesting about you and what I didn't realise at first when I watched your channel, like I say, I've been watching it for a few years, and it was I've been watching you for quite a while, and on one of your videos, one of your work in progress, I can't remember what project it was you were working on at the time, and I remember you saying in the video, like, I don't actually play 40k. I never play, and I thought that's strange. That's unusual. That, and I know there's loads of people that are in. Some people love to play, and some people love to paint, and some people like to just collect the models and have them as dioramas and pieces and stuff. But I found it very interesting that someone who's so into like creating this amazing stuff for the game. And in particular with you, something I really like about your stuff, because there's like you said, there's a load of talented people out there that are creating incredible stuff, and a lot of which looks very cool, but is sometimes you look at it and you're like, it's not necessarily usable in the game. It doesn't have a rule set, so they haven't. And sometimes people just go with the rule of cool, and you can make homebrew rules and do stuff like that, which is totally cool. But what I do like about your stuff is it is very much in keeping with the game. So you've kind of got the same kind of base size template. You've got the weapons.
There's a reason for that, though.
Right, we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I find it interesting. So why is it that you don't play the game anymore, or that you don't really have much interest in the playing, or?
Well, it's a life story, believe it or not. So I started playing when I was 14. I played loads of games up until I was about 17 and a half. I worked, but I left school, did a YTS. I don't know, you won't know what YTS is, but it's a youth training scheme. It's what fit people do when they leave school and they've got no
I get you.
No going for them. So at 17 and a half, I worked in an old people's home, and I mentioned one day to all the ladies that worked there that I was thinking about joining the army, and that's it. They tortured me until I joined the army. So I joined the army, and from that moment, my modelling stopped instantly because I was in the army. One thing, I was in the infantry. Okay, so it's quite roughy tufty, and the last thing you want to be doing is get found out that you're a geek. And you like models, you like playing with toys, and being on patrol in Belfast, it's sort of
someone's going to get a hard time in the barracks, aren't they?
Exactly. So you keep quiet about these sort of things. But anyway, as my army career progressed, what happened then is I back in 2001. After September 11th, right, I went to a police station in Northern Ireland called Strabane, right? You can research if you want. Rough as fuck. Really, really hardcore IRA, all over the place. More incidents than Belfast, right? And I lived inside this police station. So I just got married as well. And my job was 2 weeks inside this police station. I can't tell you what I was doing, but 2 weeks inside this police station, 2 weeks back at home patrolling, okay? And I did that for 2.5 years, all right? I learned to drink Earl Grey tea because that's all that was available, and I ended up drinking Earl Grey tea. And I also started modelling again, right? And that's because I had nothing else to do. The stuff I can't talk about. So I started modelling, and the best thing about where I was is all my actual real friends who were quite, I'll have to say special forces, right? Because that's all that came to my police station. They are all my friends. So they were all coming in and going, that's amazing. Did you make that? Because I discovered, what I discovered was plasticard, right? And then I was like, well, if I can mix plasticard with models and boom, and that's where it all began again for me, was back then, making all these models. So I had a lot of time on my hand, and that's what happened. So I started, and plus the two guys who worked for me when I was in this police station, they were both Warhammer fans. So all the time they were cool. Waking up like coming down to do their shift. and they'd see what I'd made that day, and they'd be like, "Bloody hell, Waz, that's amazing!" So,
nice.
and that's the thing. You can't get a better feeling than someone telling you, "Wow, you've done a really good job there, mate. That's amazing." And you live off it. You do.
Yeah,
you live
it inspires you onto the next project, doesn't it? It keeps you going when you. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
I mean, so when I left Omagh, because that's where I was based in Omagh as resident battalion. So when we left Omagh, something else happened, right? World of Warcraft came.
Right.
And modelling stopped for 5 years.
This is a familiar story as well. A lot of people can relate to, I think.
Because I used to play a game called Myth of Soma, right? And that was like a look-down online computer game, and that was quite good. But I carried on modelling. But as soon as World of Warcraft,
Goodbye life. That's it.
The problem I had was my wife liked it as well. So either I was on the computer and she was on the laptop, or vice versa.
Right.
So
that's quite cool. That's good though. A lot of people. There's probably a lot of failed relationships because of that game and lots of other games besides. But the fact that you're doing it together that's very cool.
For 5 years of playing that game, oh my God, the amount of people who got married, got divorced, died. I remember people dying on our server, and they put a gravestone for them, and everyone was like, "What?" People used to go visit this gravestone because this person died in real life. Blizzard put this gravestone there.
That's cool. That's cool.
What?
Yeah, these virtual worlds, man. They're crazy, aren't they? It's crazy.
So anyway, so I played World of Warcraft, and up until the point I went to Strensall in York, where I live now. Well, I don't live in Strensall. I live outside York, but my barracks was in Strensall, and I started modelling again then. And then when I left the army, I was lucky to become a crossing keeper with Network Rail. And what a crossing keeper is someone who sits in a box all day long and waits for someone to ring a bell, and then you have to go out of the box and open a gate, close the gate, and go back into your box. So you get loads of time on your hand, and that's basically when I started modelling again. And
I say to some people that kind of job would be a nightmare and horrendous, wouldn't it? But to a hobbyist, it's a dream. Like, I can get so much hobby done during this time. Like, it sounds amazing.
It's really funny. I've just applied for a job again, doing a crossing keeper job.
I don't blame you. It sounds dreamy.
Well, my interview is next Wednesday, so
good luck, man. Good luck. And that could benefit us all, because that means a lot more projects and a lot more things working on the works.
That'd
be great.
You
think what you could with that time, because time is such a valuable commodity, man. Money's a commodity that we value. Time is
Games
so
Workshop
limited.
So much money out of me if I get that job. I swear to God.
Yeah, I bet. So yeah, I mean, well, first of all, World of Warcraft. I presume your character was an orc.
No.
Don't tell me it was a pansy.
I was on the human. I played on the humans. Well, to be honest with you, I can't remember what sides it was. What was it? Alliance and.
I dabbled in it. I knew.
Alliance with the humans, and the other side, I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember. I've blanked it now out of my memory. It's
much like yourself. I got heavy into online gaming for quite a while, and like I say, a good group of friends and stuff that we were always playing, various games and things. World of Warcraft was one that was on the scene, but I knew that this is dangerous, and I kind of knew I needed to stay away from it, if I'm honest. But yeah, I like yourself. I stopped the hobby. I was up till 5th edition, and through 3rd, 4th, 5th, I was playing games and stuff. Yeah. But then it was about sort of midway through 5th where online gaming I first really got into, and it consumed me, and the hobby kind of fell by the wayside to the point where I was like, I'm not playing it anymore. I'm not going to get back into it, and sold everything off. Like that horror story where you'd have to start all over again, and then I started just before 8. Yeah. I'll never do it again. It again. But yes,
loads of money, like, but you know.
But mind you, World of Warcraft orcs, they're not as cool as 40k orcs, are they?
No,
they're not there. I love 40k orcs are very different from Tolkien orcs, World of Warcraft orcs, and orcs take on so many different guises. But for me, the 40k, the really, really over the top, brutish, ape-like nature of them, the exaggerated features is what sold me on them.
Yeah, well, the thing with me, going back to my late friend Andrew, I tried to introduce him to Space Marines, and he was like, I am never going to play any kind of figure that has flares, right? Because if you remember the old Space Marine model, they had like these massive flares on the leg. And so I couldn't even get the orcs. If he wasn't going to accept the Space Marines, I couldn't get the orcs up. So obviously that never happened. But yeah, I've always been...
It's like a Space Marine striking like a John Travolta pose or something, you know, like Saturday Night Fever styling.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, but yeah, so the orcs for me, the best thing about making orc stuff is when you're building orc stuff, if you mess it up, sometimes you can camouflage it and go, hey, it's orc. Yeah. And that's how you learn, because I make so many mistakes. People think I'm inflammable, because they only see what I want them to see. They could see, where's my box?
Is this the box of shame? Is it the failed projects?
Well, it's not just
the junk heap.
This is like a box full of, right, hang on, I'll get rid of that stuff. This is all the plastic art. This is all the plastic art that I have left over after making something. Yeah. And it just goes into another, and it's a massive box full of like cut up plastic art, and there's like old bits of models.
I can only imagine, mate. I can only imagine. Usually, like you said, with any of my conversion projects and things that are not anywhere near on the same scale as yours, I'm more of a sort of, at the moment at least, a kit basher and converter and stuff. But I do want to get my hand in on scratch building and stuff. But I need to learn some of the basics and stuff first.
You'll only learn by doing it.
Yeah. Totally. And that is something I'm keen to sort of do. But even with the conversion bits and that, like you say, the finished product is there, but next to it in a little pile is loads of random bits that I've chopped up, hacked apart, sawn, filed down, and then gone, nah, or that doesn't work the way I wanted it to. And it's just, so you do waste a lot. You do waste a lot, but they go back in the bits box for future projects, you know, you never know. But
well, that's it. I mean, I've got these pull-out drawers underneath my desk here, and it's just full of stuff that.
How many viewers at home would just love to be in that room right now? Those drawers, like it's just like a bits box, just like, oh my god!
I'd make a fortune on
some deaf skulls would love to be in there, mate, having a root through that lot. I tell you,
full of stuff. I've got deaf copters, because I once said on a video, deaf copters. If you can get hold of them, because they're like rocking or shit. And if you've got them and you want to make some money, you can sell them for loads of money. And someone complained. They went, for God's sake, I'm trying to buy Defcopters and now price has gone up since you said that on my video. The thing is,
they're getting rarer. Yeah, they are getting rarer. I grabbed a few myself. I got the where is it? Down here. I got. I remember when I first started orcs. My original orc army was 2nd edition, which came with the starter set. My proper orc army, my first time round, was during 5th edition, Battle for Macragge. No, Black Reach. Macragg's the other one. Black Reach. Salt and Black Reach. I got that. But then they started doing the old Battle for Vedros, and this is when I got back in, because Game, the computer game store, for some reason had them in sale half price, and came with the War Boss and the Defcopters and that. So I went in there and just bought like 3 boxes of it, and then went on Amazon.
When were they out?
Few years back, just probably the tail end of 7th edition, for some reason, Game for a very short while was stocking some of these, and they had sets with the old buggies and the old.
I think I got another set similar to that. It's green plastic.
The Revel sets, yes, I got some of them myself because some of the toy shops and things had them in stock.
Yeah, I got it off Amazon.
That's right.
I think I paid about 18 quid.
Yeah, and you get the buggy.
Another box full of stuff.
But yeah, so I got hold of a load of Defcopters by that, and that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, green Spurs. Yeah,
that's it. And you get you still because so people you can still get like things like there you go. They are still obtainable. There are still few. They're running a bit thin on the ground now. But
that spur is from Assault on Blackreach, isn't it? It's the Defcopter spur.
That's
you get all the boys on it as well.
It's basically it's all the kits from Blackreach, but in a bit of a stripped down form, so you get less in there. But it's that set of the classic knobs and the boys that snap fit and, the war boss.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great way to start an orc army.
People were selling Defcopters on eBay for 17 quid.
Yeah, and it's like you can get them in that with all the extra. It's amazing, yeah. So luckily I grabbed them up while I could, and that got me started. But I want to ask you as well, why orcs? Why orcs? I mean, I shouldn't need to ask that on this channel. We know why. But
I remember a couple of years ago, I'm talking when my hair wasn't as grey. The orcs were a joke. They were like, oh yeah, we'll let him play because he can beat orcs, and we'll beat Space Marines and knack them. But them days have gone. Them days are well over. Orcs are very humorous. They still do very interesting, funny things, but they're not a joke anymore. I don't look at the figures anymore and go, oh, that's a joke. You look at the figures now and you go, oh, that's a really nice looking figure.
Yeah, and it's a brute. It's a brute that looks dangerous and
so much fun to paint. I find painting boring, honestly. But I love painting because I like the end result of someone going, "That's amazing," and
Same here. I'm much like you. I like the end result. I like the satisfaction of when it's done, but I'm not generally a painter. I mean, I'm doing it at the moment. I'm slowly getting my grey horde turning green. Do
you know what winds me up, Stevo, most of all, is I get so many people asking me to do tutorials on painting. And I'm like, I am shit at painting. Why are you asking me? Because
I think it's funny though, and sometimes we all give ourselves the hardest time, don't we? Because let's say I myself have been requested that. I've had comments and things saying, "Oh, do you plan to do painting tutorials?" I'm like, I'm not the right person for that, and I consider myself like I think I'm an okay painter. I'm okay. I get a good tabletop standard with some. I can do some certain techniques and stuff. I'm certainly not as good as a lot of people out there, but I'm a lot better than a lot of other people out there as well. But my process is long and slow and arduous, and I make lots of mistakes, and it's probably not, I'm not a good teacher from that respect. So yeah, I totally get you on that front. There's loads of channels out there who do amazing painting tutorials. If you want that, go to them. They could do a much better job than I'll ever give you.
But the only problem with them channels is do you ever watch Squigmire Studios?
I do a bit, yeah.
Emil, you know Emil? He's quite a young channel, actually.
I've only discovered him fairly recently.
Yeah, I have as well. I only discovered him because of the water thing, the water effects. I was like, I was looking for water effects. I was on Google, and he came up, and I must have watched about 30 videos now of his. But people want a quick solution to orcs because there's so many. For every one Space Marine, you've got 2 orcs. So an orc army,
horde army.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Kay. She organised a trip to Warhammer World, where we all got together from Boss Mech Boys, and we went to Warhammer World, and it was the first time I'd actually ever sat down to watch someone play the game, and I actually thought, you know what, I could play this game, and And I didn't. I was like, no, I don't really want to play. I just want to meet everybody, say hello, and then go and see all the models in the display thing.
All over the displays.
Wow. Wow. All the way around for about 2 hours, and then I popped up again and went, I've been in there for 2 hours. Amazing place.
So, tell us a little bit about your channel. I want to talk about your channel because, like I say, I've been a fan of it for a long time. I've been watching it for a long time. Yeah. And what can, if people subscribe to me right now watching this and they haven't heard of your channel before or seen it, what can they expect if they come over to your channel? What are they gonna find and be greeted with?
Well, they're gonna find me. I love Games Workshop. I do think they do some things wrong, but I do think they do a lot of things right. And I'm just I try and be honest. It's really funny, right? I've been making videos for ages, and I always get the same question over and over again. And you're like, how do I answer this without sounding like a twat? You know
what is the question? What is the question?
Oh God, bro! What plastic card am I using?
All right.
Honestly, right, I'll tell you why I started my channel. This might interest you. Do you know the website Daka Daka?
I know of it. Yep.
Right. I used to be on Daka Daka. I used to have a blog on Daka Daka, and I fell out with someone once on there for a complete and absolute stupid reason. I'm an ex-soldier. I don't accept bullshit, right? If someone says something to me, I'm going to either defend myself or I'll walk away, and that'll be it. And like an idiot, I reacted to something that happened, right? So anyway, loads of shit, like it was like EastEnders. Honestly, it was like, oh God. So I made a public apology to the person who I reacted to. And he went, no, I'm not even bothered, mate. I love your stuff. I'm all about the models. And I went, oh my God, why can't everyone be like this? But nope, not in the Warhammer community. So there was a guy who took offense to what I'd said, even though it wasn't aimed at him. It was aimed at actually a friend of mine, who's now a friend of mine, right? And I apologized to him publicly, right? So this guy cracked on. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I've been running this blog for nearly 2 years. I've been putting thousands of photographs up, and one day every single photograph disappeared, right? Every single photograph disappeared. So I got in touch with them, with Daka Daka. Says, oh, what's going on? You know, it's a 2-year project. It's like I've spent time doing it. Basically, one of the admins had gone onto my account and just gone delete, and everything had gone off. So I was like, well, what do I do now? And everyone was like, oh, no, what's going on? So I just went, sod it. And I left Daka Daka. Don't get me wrong, I got an apology off the owner. Yeah. Said, oh, I don't know why this has happened, but I knew exactly why it happened. All right. But I got an apology. I got some dice sent to me with Daka Daka written on them and an apology. You know what? 2 years, it doesn't make up for it.
I bet they always roll ones as well.
Yeah, you know what?
Weighted dice that always roll ones.
I've never rolled them. I've never rolled them. That's really funny.
Don't. I bet you they roll ones. Snake eyes. Oh, I roll enough ones. I don't need any more, mate. All right, you keep them. You keep them.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, what happened then was I was at a loss because I was like, well, all these people who loved my blog got nothing to go to. I had tutorials on there, taking time, stage by stage photographs of everything I was doing, and honestly, mate, it was everyone. That's where I started.
But it's good. It's good that it happened, man. It's good that it happened because I think you went out on your own. You thought, right, well, obviously I can't show this off through them. I just go off on my own and create a site. And well, thankfully that happened because maybe if that situation hadn't happened, maybe your channel wouldn't exist now, and you'd still just be happy sharing pictures on a community site.
You're right, because I used to, at the end of my blog, towards the end, I did start doing YouTube videos, and I was linking them onto my blog. Okay, so one of my friends who followed me messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry about what's happened and everything." And he had But funny enough, he had downloaded every single photograph I put on there.
Oh,
But
superb.
that wasn't the point, though, because I've already got them photos.
Right.
They're already there. It's taking the time to upload them. You know, it's not just a click, paste, and boom.
Yeah, no.
Send.
A lot of stuff takes time.
Yeah, each individual photograph. Oh, you know, no, I couldn't do it. So that's why my YouTube channel started. And my YouTube channel is just purely about me making orc stuff. I don't even think I've ventured any further than orcs on my channel.
No, I was about to ask you actually. So, have you ever had plans, or do you ever have plans to dabble in other factions at all? Do any of them interest you remotely at all?
Don't know whether to tell you.
Oh, it sounds like so top secret on the go. I mean, the right answer on this channel is no, only orcs.
What? But, no, orcs all the way. But
so you're not against dabbling in? Oh, hello. Look at that. So this is
3D printed.
Right. So this is Tau, I take it.
Tau.
One of the blueberries. Yeah. The old right. Yeah.
You know what? I've always been a fan of Tau and orcs because I think it's the.
There's a lot of people who are actually, which is quite unusual because they're very, very different in their styling.
I've started 3D printing stuff, and I got bored and stopped 3D printing. So this is like a 10% of a massive Tau dropship thing.
Nice.
And
cool.
All
I'm thinking is looking at stuff going, we could loot that.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, if that wasn't 3D print, if this big guy here wasn't 3D printed, I think I probably would have looted it.
Yeah, he looks prime for a looting. You can turn that into a stomper.
I'd make my own stomper. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've actually got, my wife bought me for Christmas a towel starter box. I was
cool.
like, I'll tell you why. I was Googling images and I Googled olive drab. I was looking at some Orc Vietnam stuff, which I'll talk to you about in a bit. I was looking at some Orc Vietnam stuff and I couldn't find any. And I was like, this must be, I must have got onto something here because I couldn't say anything. There's World War II British guys, there's World War II German guys. But there's no like Vietnam stuff. And when I googled olive drab, this Tau army appeared in olive drab, and I was like, "That's amazing!" You know what I mean? I was like, "I want that." And so my wife got me a Tau.
So you're dabbling in Tau. Oh, Tau.
Yeah.
That's not going to win you any fans. Not on this channel.
It's on myself gathering dust, and I have been for the last 3 months.
Like my Necrons down there, they're gathering dust as well.
I like Necrons as well.
I do. Yes, they are. And
dry brush silver done.
That's why I had a fully painted Necron army back in the day because it's a great place to start. So you on the channel, you're creating stuff. You've got a lot of playlists of like you do like sort of vlogs, don't you? As you're working through a project from the beginning all the way through, and do various showcases and stuff and things. And that's how I first discovered you. I think I was just typed in, as a lot of people do on YouTube, searching. You're typed in like orc conversions or vehicle things or something like that, kit bash, and one of your videos popped up, and I was like, oh my god, no, this just made it all from plastic card. Like you could just make your own stuff. And I was just like, oh, and I watched like loads and loads of your videos after that and was just blown away by the stuff. But and I've heard you talking on there on some of your videos about some of the projects you're working on some of these videos were commissions for people. So is that something you still do? Do you get requests and people will say to you, can you build me this, or can you make this?
You know what? You've got to be special to get commissioned off of me.
Okay, so it's not a general thing you do, but you do it from time to time, kind of thing. For
you know what? I'm not expensive. It'll for the amount of hours I sit at this desk and produce a model and then sell it. It's not expensive at all. If you look at what my cousin does as an artist, a painter, the amount of money he sells his paintings for is ridiculous. And if I compare that to my model making, I'm a loser, honestly. I swear to God. But yeah, I've got a good friend in America, Andrew. I don't want to name drop, so I'm not gonna. Right? He is famous, and he's actually very famous, right? But he knows which buttons to press, right, with me, because he knows my artistic nature. So I built. Do you remember the Titan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my small child that I created.
Yeah.
Well, I built that for someone else. All right, who I don't have to tell you this either. Someone else used to commission me a lot, and I think he commissioned me a bit too much, and he ended up I think he split up with his missus, and then he just disappeared.
Right.
So before he disappeared, he commissioned me for the Titan. So yeah, he didn't pay me any money. I never take money off anybody to sell.
And she was checking the bank account, going, "Where the hell's the rent money gone on that?" And he's got the.
yeah. I don't think you're far off the truth there, mate.
Ouch.
Right. So he commissioned me for the Titan, and Andrew, the famous guy, I'm pointing at the boat, which is sat here, right? But I had another boat sat here. My first remote control boat I made. Andrew bought that off me, and so Andrew knows my work. He also, do you remember the Belly Buster?
Mm-hmm.
The one that appeared in the Great Wag book,
right?
Games Workshop.
Yeah.
One of my models appeared in that book. I just thought I'd mention that.
Superb.
Do you not know about this?
I did not know that. No.
Oh my God, Stevo!
That's a claim to fame, man.
Well, I built a model called the Belly Buster. Now this is on my channel, right? So that model there. I don't know whether
excellent.
You can picture of it.
It's a bit blurry, but we can just see it. But I might overlay. So while we're talking, I might overlay the image of that over there, so viewers at home can see that.
So someone contacted me once and went, "Did you copy that model from the Great Wag?" And I went, "What are you on about?" And I was like, "What's the Great Wag?" And I put into the group, "What's going on? What's the Great Wag?" So someone sent me the photograph, and I was like, "Hang a minute, that's my model, that." So funny enough, I contacted Games Workshop and went, "My model's in one of your books, and you're not giving me credit." And they're like, "What are you on about?" And I sent them the photograph, and I went, "Oh shit, yeah, your model is in one of our things." Do you know what? They were brilliant. I cannot fault Games Workshop at all. They were amazing, right? I can't tell you too much about what we settled on because I signed a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But put it this way. The money they offered me, I got double in models, and it was amazing. Superb. They looked after me so well. Honestly, I can't. Yeah,
excellent stuff. And it's just cool, and it's just cool to have one of your creations featured like that. You know,
oh yeah,
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
The thing is, as well,
because they've got a bit of a reputation, haven't they? Whether it be there's elements. You can see where it's coming. They've got a bit of a reputation of shutting like these small timers down, coming down on them hard, and
Yes. Yeah.
But then you do hear stories like this from the other side, which shows different.
Oh, they were brilliant. They were brilliant. I had the guy from the art desk going, I can't believe that's a model. And then when he's looking at the photographs and going, well, yeah, because what it is, an independent artist has drawn that and gone. But the funny thing is, he went, I thought it was a Games Workshop model. That's why.
Probably.
Cheers, mate. So,
excellent.
I had a big smile on my face for months.
I bet, mate. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. But yeah, so you dabble in commissions for special cases, but I know that you are now working with a third-party supplier called Buckets and Stuff. I spoke about it in the video of your battle wagon that I showcased, reviewed on the channel a little while back, and spoke about their website. But yeah, so you've got a website that you work through called Buckets and Stuff, which are now, as I understand it, they're casting your stuff and putting it up for sale. So you want to tell us a little bit about them? And
Yeah, so Nick and Seth are basically my go-to men. So all I want to do is make models. I've never ever said I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to be mass. I don't want to be sitting on a chair with Games Workshop sucks. I'm the best. That's not what I want. All I want to do is make models, and I want other people to buy their models and refund my hobby. So, and that's what everybody wants to do, is not pay for that plastic crack. We want to get that plastic crack free.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And if I can fund my hobby doing that, then that's great, because I buy plastic art by the shed load, right?
I bet.
So this is just one ton of, actually quite heavy is that. And I've got 4 of them here and another 6 under my desk. So if I can pay for that in a different way, then this is the way that I'm going to do it. Plus, I get to make some of the most amazing looking models that I can produce. So if someone can buy that model and improve it, or not improve it. Sometimes people go a bit too far with orcs, stick too much stuff on them. Do you know what I mean? And go,
yeah,
oh,
yes,
orky.
yes, yeah.
Oh, it's not orky though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I get you there, man. There is obviously there's always there's the saying, not enough DACA.
And how can you be nice about it and say to them, actually, if you just not do that, then it'd be really good.
Yeah, there's a mistaken belief, I think, that more is always better with the orcs and that. And you see some things, and we're getting it at the moment with a lot of people with war bosses and stuff. There's scale creep of bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's a lot of that going on. And like you say, a lot of the vehicles and things. And you do sometimes look at these things and you go, oh, if you just took it back a little bit, it would
Stevo,
be spot on.
Stop. You say scale creep, Gaz. Come on. How good? How good is
so
Gaz?
Good. So good. And do you know what? I think they nailed him just right, because they could have gone full on prime orc, massive scale, but actually the size of himself, he's a bit bigger than your average war boss, but not by much. It's the armor that makes him so big, and I'm glad they went down that route and didn't go crazy with it, because it does start getting a bit silly.
I cannot wait to get all the Gaz and do a conversion.
Same.
I'm going to stick him on a bike.
Sweet. That'll be cool. We're starting to look forward to on the channel. But yeah, back to buckets and stuff. So they are based in America.
Yeah.
Now, for the UK viewers, do they ship to UK residents at the moment, or what's the deal?
They will, but it'll be expensive.
The postage.
But what the plan is hopefully you've got to look at it from a business point of view. And I spoke to you this about earlier. If I sell one model here in the UK, in America they're going to sell 10. All right. So this is the market we need to hit to start making it self-sufficient. This is what we have to be. We have to be self-sufficient for the molds, for the castings, and for the postage. If we can't be self-sufficient, then we're going to run at a loss. And I aren't making minis. You know what I mean? We're not going to run at a loss. We don't want to run at a loss. We want to make a profit so we can continue doing what we're doing. But I know I'll never be as big as Cromlech. I know we'll never be as big as. I mean, there's Spellcrow. There's all the other third party. I would love to mention them all. I don't think I will ever be as big as them. There's potential to be as good, but I don't think I'll be as big. Now, for the UK, hopefully, what I will do for UK buyers is I will get a bulk of something. It will come over to me, and then I'll sell it, if that makes sense. Brilliant. And then at least you guys
scope for you potentially to have your own sort of online store or something, and
possibly, yes.
Yeah, that would be very cool, very cool. Because I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of UK audience. I mean, a lot of my audience is stateside as well, so they're going to be chuffed to hear that this stuff is available. And guys, let me just say, so I will pop a link in the description for buckets and stuff. So as soon as this video is finished, get yourself over onto the website and have a look, because some of the stuff's on there now, and some really really cool stuff. And as soon as you see it, you're going to want to open that wallet. Trust me. So stateside, you're in the business, and UK residents, like I say, if you're willing to pay a little bit of the postage costs and things to get it, or hold out for the future when Waz maybe opens his own store or starts trading them somehow to get them to UK.
I'll get someone else to do it. I'm too lazy.
Yeah.
but I'll get someone else to do it, and they can have a free model.
That's it. Nice. I'm sure you'll have willing volunteers.
Stevo, what are you doing?
But yeah, so it's really cool. I mean, it's brilliant that you're doing this stuff, and the stuff that you're creating on the channel that people are drooling over now have a way to obtain and get. And
yeah,
it's brilliant. It's really
there is some really good models. I mean, I have made models in the past, but there's some new. Basically, I get better the more mature I get with my modelling skills. I'm getting better.
You're always refining your craft. You're always learning, aren't you? As we all are in the hobby, and so you're always learning and always evolving.
If anyone knows, if anyone knows me, it goes into my Facebook account and goes into my photograph. If you go to the very first photographs I uploaded and go to the latest photograph I uploaded, you will see a massive difference between my modelling. Honestly, I look at it all the time. I think, should I delete this album because it's shit? I think no, because people.
It's nice to see that progression, isn't it?
Well,
it's
that's
nice
it.
to see that.
I was at a level that some people are trying to achieve, and now I'm at a different level.
Yeah.
But one day, I don't know if you remember a YouTuber called. Oh no! I knew I was going to forget his name.
It's age, mate. It happens to me all the time.
I've forgotten his name. What's his name? No, I can't remember. I'd have to go onto YouTube. But there's a YouTuber I followed, and his creations were mind-blowingly really good. And all of a sudden he stopped his YouTube channel, deleted every video, and that was it. It went. But he has got a new YouTube channel, but he doesn't post on it very often now. And he was one of my massive inspirations, as well as Walter as well. And I can't think what his channel's called, but he made these like orcs that was like on a jet bike flat thing. I mean, I've got some of the models down here. They were like do you remember the first Spider-Man film?
Yeah.
And that bloke, the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin, yeah.
Well,
the hoverboard sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
he made
it.
these orcs on these like
cool.
very similar things. And they were amazing. And again, another modeler that I followed, and I've got him on my Facebook account. He's a friend, not one I speak to all the time, like. But if he's on my Facebook, he's a friend. So yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, I followed him. But yeah, I follow people. I copy people. I will never ever say, oh no, I don't copy anybody. I copy people all the time. And I love it when people copy me. So
well, what I want to say, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but what I really like about your stuff that you don't see in a lot of other people, a lot of these third-party companies and a lot of people that make alternatives to GW. Now, by alternative, they sometimes go very much alternative. Like for Cromlech, for example, their orc faces are very different from GW.
Yeah, they are.
Got I think Untitled W recently made some commandos, which are very long, very thin. They don't look like GW orcs. They're very much more upright.
Who made them ones?
I think that's Untitled W, I believe. I think it's them, the ones I'm thinking of. I might be wrong. I'm going off my head here. But they're fairly new ones, commandos. I mean, they look amazing. They're detailed and they're really nice sculpts. But they're not our orcs.
Yeah. They're 3D resin printed ones. Yes.
Okay. But yes, they're not our orcs. They're not GW orcs.
No.
And some people love that, and some people they purposely want something that looks different. They want that. When I'm looking for alternatives, when I'm looking for third-party parts and that, I don't want something that looks different from GW, because I don't want it to clash with my army. I don't want it to look obviously different. Yeah. I want something that is different and unusual, but also ties in. So to the
Yeah.
untrained eye, they'll look and they'll just see, oh, that's just all Games Workshop. But
Exactly how I look at it when I make models. Like the Death Bomber. I've built it to blend in with the GW stuff. So.
So good. You got to do it, ain't you? It's got to be done. We all do it. It's so cool, man. It's so cool.
Dread introduced me to the little ones, the little planes.
Yes, that's it, from Aeronautica. That's right.
Yeah. Well, when I first started building it, I had the basic size, the basic shape in my head.
Yeah.
And then Dread went, "Oh, that looks like," and I was like, "What's that?" And then that was it. It was like a kid to candy.
Superb. I mean, that literally, I'm looking at that now, and if someone said, showed me a picture and that said, "This is the new Forge World miniature," I would just assume, yeah, that I wouldn't question that at all. And that's what, like I say, what I love about your stuff is that it is really authentic looking, in that it ties in, it fits. It's not going to clash and stand out like a sore thumb. It is in a way that it's going to look really cool, and people are going to go, "I've not seen that before. What's that?" And ask you questions about it. But it's going to, and I love that. I love that.
I had a list of rules once, and I'm an idiot because I should have wrote them down, right? And I wrote, it was on Daka, and I went, these are the rules I live by. One of them was copy everybody and blend it in to get work stuff. And if you can achieve that blending in of conversion, this is what annoys me as well. People get the terminology of scratch built and conversion mixed up so much. Oh, honestly, that's a converted model, believe it or not. Even though most of it is scratch built, it's still a converted model because it's got converted model on it. So if you can convert a model and have it blending in to what Games Workshop do, because like Games Workshop don't go over the top.
No.
Do they? They don't.
No, not always anyway. No. But no, they're very,
Yeah. Gaz is wearing this big power arm. He's got these big massive bolters, but it suits what he is.
It's just at that level, just before ridiculousness. Because I think with the orcs is where you want to hit. You want to reach to the point where it's
that's the word there. You just said then, ridiculous. If it looks ridiculous, you haven't achieved anything.
No.
If you can get the wow factor without someone going, "Oh, it looks stupid."
Yeah.
Then you know what I mean. You're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
You want that wow factor.
Sometimes you do just have to dial it back just a little. It's got to go right to the point where it's literally
less is more.
Yeah, but I think with orcs, I think because you can push the boundaries so much further with orcs, it's tempting to do that, and you want to do that. You want to be just at the point. It's just before it. It's just too much.
That's why I love orcs so much, because you can be really creative and you can make these spectacular models, like stupidly big models. This will never be played in a game, right? I mean, look how big it is. It's bigger than my head. This will never be played. This is going to be a display model. Andrew commissioned me for this, right? So that's a display model. But that's what you know. Even though it's got, someone counted. It's really funny. Someone counted. There's 35 shooters. There's something like 8 big shooters or whatever. I don't even know the terminology for some of the stuff. And there's something like 12 twin links on it.
Fuck.
There's quite a lot of data.
And it's great. And that just shows you, doesn't it, that I think there's a fair bit of flexibility with orcs, because the point that is in the realms of believability with orcs, that's still there. It's okay, so. If you have pushed it to the point of ridiculousness, then you've really gone too far. Because you have to go quite far to take it to that realms.
I do like it when people say, "Oh, well, it's orc willpower. It'll get off the ground." Yeah, it will, because it doesn't look ridiculous, and it's quite.
But there is a limit. Even if the orcs don't believe it themselves, then it's not going to happen. And if you've gone to it, if it's that ridiculous that even an orc's going, well, that ain't never going to fly.
No, you're right.
Even an orc knows it at least has to have wings,
Exactly.
even if the engine is filled with rocks and, you know, big squig poo or something, you know.
That's why we love orcs.
Yes, definitely. We definitely do. Well, buddy, I mean, I think we've pretty much covered everything we wanted to there. Guys, get on over to Waz's channel. Check it out if you haven't already. Go and hit the subscribe button. Let him know that 6 Plus Stevo sent you. Go and hit that subscribe button and just prepare yourself. If you haven't seen it before, I'm sure most of you watching now have. Prepare yourself to be inspired and blown away.
Set yourself a couple of hours.
Yes, do. But
just, over 500 videos now.
And get ready to want to buy a lot of plasticard, because yeah, you're gonna want it and stuff. Oh, just quickly, mate, one more question, because I know you get asked about the measurements and stuff of plasticard time. I've got to ask this, because I know this is one for me that I've wanted you to do for a while. I've asked you already, but I'm going to ask you on the interview now. Is there any plans for any tutorial videos? Because I personally would be a big fan of them, seeing just the basic entry level stuff, some simple little things, you know, how to make this, how to make that, and step-by-step guides. Is there any plans for anything like that in the future?
Well,
you can say no if that's the answer as well.
I reckon we'll see how much attention this video gets. And if people want that type of thing, then I reckon me and you should get together and I could teach you how to make things with plasticard.
Well, there you go, guys. There you go. There you go. So there you go, guys. So lots in the comments section, please. Lots of encouragement in there, because, like I say, this could work. That's a very good idea, actually, buddy. Because, like I said, I'm looking to expand my horizons a bit, dabble a bit. I've done very, very basic stuff with plasticard. I mean, really basic.
That's how I started.
I want to, yeah, I do. I want to learn more because I've got things in this head of mine. This noggin of mine is full of. I can see things. I want to, you know. So yeah. But guys,
I never plan anything. I've never planned anything in my life ever. Any model I build, I don't plan it. I just build it.
You just start building and see where it goes. That's.
Well, the Titan. I just built that. I built the legs first. I went, yeah, they look all right. I built the body, and I went, oh yeah, that looks all right. Put it on top, and it says, oh yeah, luckily it fit. Oh,
just like a true Big Mech. I love that. I love that. No blueprints and everything.
Actually, do you know what? I've just
full
said that
Orky style.
I built the body first, and then I built the legs. And I was like, oh yeah, they fit. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's cool. Again, another reason to love your work, man. That it is literally created as an orc would create it, and I think that's brilliant that you don't go with a plan, because I don't think orcs. Nah. I'm not sure many orcs actually plan stuff and draw out schematics and things, you know.
But it's really funny because this is, you know, you said you were talking about earlier. I know we're trying to wrap up, right? But you were talking about earlier about I don't play the game, but yeah, I still build things in the, you know, for the game. That's because the people I build things for are very knowledgeable about the game. And they always say to me, I want this. And I go, right, what's it need? And they go, it needs this, it needs this, it needs this. And that's how I build it.
Brilliant.
That's why, you know, something like this. If you go look at my skull hammer video, that video, the skull hammer is how a skull hammer should be built. Because that is exactly what the skull hammer, if you read the old school list of what a skull hammer is, that's a skull hammer. And I know that because
that's brilliant, and I like that. It's very much, whenever I do anything like that, I like to represent its in-game rules on the miniature in some way.
That's why I'm friends with people like you, because then I can go, Stevo, what does this do? Or, Stevo, how many does this have?
What loadout does this have? How many big shooters does this have? Yeah. You know, what it can have, and yeah, that's cool. And people mistake that for being restrictive and sort of hampering your creativity in some way, and I get that. But actually, I think working within certain confines, stuff that can bring out the best creativity, you know, like might bring challenges and stuff like, well, how can I represent that in a different way? And how there are little ways around it and things, I think it breeds some really clever ideas. And sometimes necessity and restrictions force those really clever ideas that end up making the miniature look so cool in the first place, because you were forced down that route. And definitely. But mate, thank you so much for being on the channel. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been really interesting talking to you.
No problem.
I hope you viewers at home have enjoyed it as much as I have. Like I say, get over to Waz's channel, go and hit the subscribe button, go and check out those videos, get inspired, buy a lot of plasticard, and check out buckets
Don't buy
and
it
stuff.
all. I need some.
There you go. And check out buckets and stuff. I will put a link to their website in the description below. Go and check out there, so you can see how you can obtain some of these awesome resin kits yourself, of some of which I've got down there, and they're good. They come with the Stevo seal of approval, I can tell you that.
No, you got a shit one, so wait till you get a really good one.
I know, that's great. I remember doing the video for that, actually, and I remember you saying to me, you'd sent me, listen, I've sent you one, but it's like it's an early draft, you know. So just be sure that there are some bits missing and there's some bits, you know. And I did the whole video and I was uploading. I'm like, fuck, I didn't say, like, people are gonna, like, sorry guys, I had to just literally throw it on the air. I didn't want to record the whole video again. I'm like, listen, just to let you know, there are some bits missing. So point out this, so when you buy it, it'll be better than this. I thought, God, I'm reviewing the product for him, and he's going to be looking at it going, oh, he hasn't, they're going to think it's shit now.
To be honest, I don't think anyone noticed. It was awking.
Yeah, that's it. And we're a very intuitive bunch, that if we find something not working right, or missing, we're like, oh, we can bodge that up and fix that with something.
Well, but yeah, you know what? It's funny you said that, because they do have plans on selling like a scrap box, so you could buy a scrap box of resin. So you'll only pay for like the price of the resin plus the postage. So you're talking, you could end up getting maybe £500 worth of models for £100, maybe less.
Oh, that's the sort of thing that speaks to me. Is
believe it or not,
big old massive, yeah. But that's amazing. So people out there wanting to kit bash and convert and to scratch build and just to get a big box of bits. And just amazed, a big, that's,
we don't throw anything away.
Orky pick and mix. That's what we want. Orky pick and mix.
You know, I like that.
That's it. Use that one. You can have that one. Just the scales and scoop, and I'll have some exhausts. I'll have some wheels.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be brilliant. I like that.
Mate, I'm going to suggest that to my boys.
Good stuff. Go for it. Waz, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you so much.
For having me.
You're very welcome, mate. You're welcome on the channel anytime. It's been an honour to have you on it, and I look forward to seeing what work comes in the future.
Cool.
But for now, guys, I guess it's all to say is from Waz and myself, this is 6 Plus Stevo signing out.